Hey everybody, it's Casual Boops coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be covering the Object 277, one of the 5 tech tree Soviet heavy tanks in the game, and one of the 7 that are in existence, because there's the 260 and the Object 279E, which are not in the tech tree. The 277 is a pretty solid tank. It's a little bit more like a medium tank than a heavy tank, but it's competitive. It's used in Clan Wars for now until something else power creeps it, but it's pretty solid. And so, yeah, without further ado, we'll get into the gameplay. Okay, so the 277 is let's go over the high points here. The main things about it, it's got a 490 alpha gun, which is pretty, it's meaty alpha, and decent DPM along with that alpha. Penetration is good. Accuracy is pretty, like, this is the biggest thing. The turret traverse being 0.08 feels extremely good. Along with the final accuracy of 0.36 is pretty good. So the gun feels very good. Like, this is probably the most impactful dispersion factor. Like, if you move the turret and it doesn't move, that makes it a lot easier to sorry, if you move the turret and the dispersion, the reticle doesn't bloom out a lot, that makes the gun feel very good, and it does. It's probably one of the better behaved heavy tank guns in the game at tier 10. But yeah, the speed is really where you go, or like why you play this tank, because it's 55 kilometers per hour top speed is excellent, with almost a 20 power to weight base, and you can definitely increase that, obviously, along with decent terrain resistances, so it actually does get up to its top speed. The one thing it does have 5.5 degrees of gun depression, which is like fine. It's not debilitating, but I wouldn't say this is not a strong suit. This is, in my opinion, kind of a downer. Like, I like tanks that have a little more gun depression than that, personally. Otherwise, the rest of this is fairly standard. 400 meters of base view range is fine. It's got there's a few different crew layouts for Soviet heavy tanks, because there are so many different types and styles and whatever, and this has a fairly normal 4-man crew with a radio man duty is taken up by the commander, so crew layout is fine. The armor is pretty okay, but only in parts, right? So it's got this weird kind of UFO. Let me see a visual here. So we'll get to the armor. You can see it looks, right, I'm sure you've seen these on the battlefield because they're used quite a bit. It's got this weird kind of swoopy upper hull, which can be trollish, right? I wouldn't say it's reliable, but it is trollish, especially if you're over angling, if you're working some kind of a hill with your not very good 5.5 degrees of gun depression, then this is what you see. And again, the turret is very solid. It's got this tiny little cupola that can be penned, right? But the big thing is, if you're hull down, you're in good shape. Or if you're trying to bait a shot, you can over angle. You can hope somebody's bad and they'll shoot this part of the upper hull and bounce off. So that's a thing. It does not, or it does. The side armor is it's V-shaped up here like normal, but then it's flat behind the track. So it doesn't have a full V-shaped hull like a 257. Or a 907. So the side armor is just okay. Really, the reason that you play this tank is because it has a great gun, it has a solid turret, and it's fast. And those are the 3 things that are really going for you. As long as you're hull down, you're using some gun depression, it doesn't matter. You don't need it, when I say hull down in this particular case, it doesn't mean using gun depression. It means finding a rubble pile that's approximately the size of your hull, which those do exist. It seems like Wargaming has put those around in a lot more places than you'd think if you know where you're looking for them. And then you can pretty much you don't have to expose, right? Because unlike WZ-114, where it takes forever and a day to sit there and aim in your gun, with this you don't really need to. You can poke out. You already know where somebody is going to be, so you pre-aim, you poke out, you shoot, you poke back in, and you don't have to expose hardly at all. And so because of that makes the armor feel that much better. So yeah, it's honestly, the joke a couple of years ago is that this is the best medium tank at tier 10, even though it's a heavy tank. Now I don't think that's necessarily true anymore, but it's still, like, you can definitely play this as a pocket medium if necessary, because it does have the speed. So that's the armor, and then we'll get into the builds here. So of course, all-terrain suspension is the one, parallax adjustment is the one, more view range is always the one. Always go with the more additional top speed. That's just crazy good. And then let's see here. I'm going to take hit points, because these dispersion factors don't go up very, very much, so I'm doing this. This is the one. Now from here, of course, you're gonna, your brothers in arms, if you got just a decent crew, whatever. I run food because I'm a tryhard. So from here, it's debatable, right? As far as what you do and how you do it. Now, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna use the mobility slot and a turbo. and that gets me up to 64 ridiculous kilometers per hour. And then of course you got your rammer and a vertical stabilizer, and you're basically your dial. The gun is amazing. 0.33 is great. The DPM is great, and it gets up to 64, and it gets there in a hurry with almost a 20 power to weight. Like, this is medium tank fast and with a great top speed. This is faster than most medium. Well, this is faster than some medium tanks. Like, I'm pretty sure that this tank would beat an M48 Patton in a race because balance. So this is how I do it, but this is not the only way. Of course, there's, you know, you can do something like this, and all of a sudden you've got a laser beam of a gun. So this part is debatable because both the mobility and a firepower slot are both so good and so important. So either one of those is fine, but this one, the additional top speed is amazing. So I personally run mine with this because 64 is amazing. Now, I will say, if you saw in the little spinny part, the fly around, that I haven't gotten mine fully field modded yet, so I haven't seen all of these benefits on my main account. But yeah, it's a good tank, and if you're grinding up a line, this is definitely, I would say, not the first one I would pick because it's not quite as forgiving. I actually have a hard time with this tank because the gun depression's not there and the hull is cheese. And so, like, the IS-7 is a lot more forgiving for new players. The gun's a lot more derpy and it's a lot slower unless you do a meme mobility build. But generally, it's a lot better for new players. So, anyways, without further ado, we'll get into the gameplay. All right, so in this particular game, we're going to be watching Carry playing in his 277. We're going to be playing on Fisherman's Bay. It's a tier 10 game, of course, but there's tier 9s and tier 8s in the game with no artillery. As far as matchmaking goes, this is pretty amazing. So we'll just see what Carry can do. But also the trouble with this is, because you have, as a tier 10 in a game with tier 8s, you have so much more carry potential. You really have to be careful, because if you do something stupid and you get yourself killed or get yourself shot or lose a bunch more hit points than you should too early, then all of a sudden the game is probably over. You're probably gonna lose the game for your teammates. So it's very important to not do anything stupid and play conservative. And here we're seeing here the Patriot and Carry are able to work together and work this same kind of bush and just wait and see what happens, because this is a very common crossing. People will try to cross here just like the Super Conk is doing. Carry tries to back up and use the bush, and unfortunately must have shot that Super Conk in the side armor. Didn't pen, unfortunately, but again, if you can see through the bush and you shoot, then that bush ceases to exist when, like, the camo from that bush is gone. So when you shoot, you should always try to back up so that you can't see through the bush, because then you will be much less likely to get spotted. And luckily that Super Conk must have really bad view range, so he didn't spot Carry anyways. But yeah. So anyways, now we're not being spotted by any of this stuff, whether we're shooting or moving or any of that stuff behind these bushes here. So Carry's gonna try to get over here and see if we can't just, I don't know, just find something. Find something to do. But everybody's in a pretty good spot, right? We have the Leopard 1 is in the middle. We could probably use another tank in the middle, but unfortunately that's just not what's happening. We've got a bunch of tank destroyers on the 1-2 line. We've got the EVA 90 set up to spot, and a whole mess of allies over on this side. So everything is looking pretty solid, but we don't want to push into anything because there's a lot of big scary tanks in the enemy team that we don't know where they are, but they're not accounted for. You see in the chat here, the AT-15 says 60 TP is west. So that's interesting. That's good info. That means that we won't be facing a 60 TP over here in the city. I don't necessarily think that I would I wouldn't take my 60 TP to the field, but there he is. So that's right away we know that we're going to be up a tank if we push. And oh my god, Carry's getting trolled. So that was again in the side. It looked like it might have hit the upper plate of the Super Conk, but believe it or not, the gun is really good in this thing. So I don't know, it's just Carry's getting unlucky, and man, that would have been a cheeky shot. But yeah, so now we're noticing here on the, if you keep an eye on the mini-map, of course, their enemy links should die someday at some point. Yeah, there he goes. And our team is doing some kind of a push here. The Death Star is just gonna go. I don't think that that's really a great plan, to be honest, but Carry's a tier 10, so he's obligated to get up here and help push, like help lead the things, because if you just sit back in a tier 10 and don't carry your weight, you are gonna cause the team to lose, right? And so Carry's gonna put these easy shots into the Super Conk, and then again trying to, I don't know, just I don't know, there's a little bit of reverse side scrapey action here, but I think most of it is just trying to stay out. If you go to where Carry is right about now, then you can get shot from the middle where the Barask is. So he was trying to stay out of that while he was immediately spotted, and trying to shoot over the dead tank into the engine deck of the Tiger II. The 277 has excellent premium penetration too, by the way. It's got like, oh my god, Carry, just aim. It's something like, is it 330 or 340 heat pen? I know I keep saying the wrong thing in these videos because I just, my brain turns off. But yes, the heat penetration is fantastic. Whatever the number is, it's fantastic on the 277. So it really is just a really great round to be using. So I don't blame Carry for just spamming it, basically. And if I recall, it's possible that this game was done before the ability to switch ammo loadouts, or entirely possible that he hadn't unlocked the ability to switch ammo loadouts at this time. So I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt. He's having a good game. We're trying to find this Death Star on the enemy team. The 183 was previously spotted right here. We don't want to find it with our face, because if you do that, then all of a sudden, you know, that's the end of your game. So there, we're finding it with our face. And so Carry is using that debris, right, that bit of destructible cover, because if an HE round hits that, it explodes. That's basically spaced armor for Carry. We're gonna pick up this one-shot tortoise, and then at this point now we see if we can, unfortunately, I mean, this is a little bit of a sticky thing because we've lost the one line. Their 60 TP is pushed. We've got this shit barn. I'm sorry, it's the Death Star that's here. But we don't own the middle, so it's very difficult. This guy just wants it. He's like, I'm gonna kill this 277, and I don't care what happens to me if I do, you know. And so, okay, all right. So Carry did the right thing here. After he shot, you're just gonna try to stay safe. But this is the problem. It's really hard to push out of this position you're in, because those medium tanks could have flexed to K6. They could be, you know, we just got shot from a Leopard in the middle. So by not owning or having any vision on the middle like we do, we're in that position right now where we don't have that. It makes it really hard to really do much. And so Carry's going to get back up to the middle here and try to. Oh wait, there might have been a sliver of a shot there, but I don't know. Carry was more worried about positioning, which is not wrong, but he's going to try to get up to the middle and provide some spotting for our guys at A5 and try to clean up the middle, because once we have some of those tanks cleared out of the middle, then we can actually you know, leverage the positions that we have. We have guys at A5, we have guys now at K5, K6, and so that's a lot of firing lines. We have a lot of firing lines at the various parts of the map. Oh my god, hit the ground. Unfortunately, the accuracy has not really been kind to Carry this game. But you can see, like, by Carry coming here, those guys are trying to push, and oh my lord. Yeah, the gun is really good, believe it or not. This has been probably a use case for the opposite, but Carry is intentionally trying to take out the tier 10, which is the correct choice, because those are the most dangerous tanks in the game, obviously, at this point. So there are one-shots, right? The TL1 was another one-shot. And he's trying to get somebody to come back here and get back to A5, because you want to have the different firing lines. If Carry spots a Leopard from here, he can't really do a whole lot about it. But if somebody were at A6, Alpha 6, then they could shoot the Leopard for free. So we're just gonna wait, aim. Oh, all right. Carry puts one down, and we're good. And the T95 is coming back at the speed of T95, so it looks okay. There is a 704 that's never been spotted, and a Striv that's never been spotted. So there he is. There's our 704. But again, he's been spotted now, so our guys with the different firing lines at their base can shoot and die, apparently. But Carry's you're just doing what you can, right? So at this point, he's getting the tracking damage, he's getting the spotting damage, he's just trying to put his DPM to use and carry the game as a tier 10. That's your job, it's your obligation. And we have the T-54E1 is on the base. I don't know if I would even bother trying to cap at this point, because they know where you are, and all that takes is one Striv to shut you down, and okay, or the Progetto flex back. So this is kind of not very great. It's a 277 and a T-95 on our team, and that's it. Carry's in the middle, and he just got lit from something that he didn't spot in return, which is like the worst. This is like your worst nightmare. So Carry's going to try to get unspotted before making any moves, because there's so many different firing lines through these little buildings in the middle that it's very easy. Since we don't know anything about where the enemy tanks are, because they're all camo snipers and fast flexible medium tanks, it's very difficult to get out of here without getting tagged. And so that's what Carrie is trying to do. He's going to go around the middle of this map. Is kind of on a little, oh gosh, there, we found the striv. The middle of the map is kind of in a little bowl, and Carrie kind of rushed the shot there, but that's, you know, it is what it is. And so Carrie is trying to get down off the bowl so we can get a little more clearance. And we're going to be trying to stay out of the firing lines from where the Leopard is, where the Progetto is, where the Striv is. And so to do that, we come back over here. At this point, it's basically our game to lose, or I'm sorry, the enemy's game to lose. Like, they pretty much have this with lots more hit points. They have 3 different tanks. So the way that Carrie and the T-95 win this, if they even can win this, is by using their strengths, which is the fact that they both have decent guns. The T-95 has great armor, and if you put yourself in a position where you force the enemy to do things, then you can maybe force them into a mistake. So we're trying to lie and wait. Carrie's trying to work together with this T-95 and tell him to head over to this bush and this building, because that, or sorry, not the building, there's a bush with a rock, and that'll provides you a lot of really good crossfire and vision. We're trying to get vision to see where the enemy is, so that way when they approach, you will know what's happening. You can adjust, you can get the first shot, and then you can basically get a shot for free. And you do that enough times, and all of a sudden you're up tanks, and all of a sudden you win games. And so at this point, you're just going to sit and be patient and wait, because, you know, if you try to run out there as a 277 and try to spot a Leopard 1, they're going to spot you first, and then they're going to, you know, it's all about that. So, or if they get on the cap circle, then you know where they are. That's telling you information, telling you where they are, so you can adjust accordingly. So for now, we just wait. And we just wait. We just hang out. And I know this isn't the most exciting thing, but it's a little bit, it's tense, right? This is, you know, what is it? 2,500 hit points to 3,700 hit points total. So we're definitely at the disadvantage, and we just wait. Oh, okay. So I sped that last bit up to save us all some time. And now we know that the enemy, at least one of them, is on the cap. And that is information. That is a change. And so now Carrie is trying to work with the T-95. He's saying, all right, T-95, if you can get in a good position to shoot, Carrie is going to get up to A6 and poke around the building and spot the capture circle so that the T-95 can shoot from safety. And we're trying, he says, you know, if you get shot, tell me from where, because that's all information. You can use the advanced hit indicators, like I've talked about in other videos, to indicate, like, okay, the shot came from over there. So that's, again, that's information. You're just trying to figure out where they are using the information that you've been given. And so Carrie's going to go up to this very, very useful, very important building. This building is about the equivalent of the opposite. The opposite side has a big rock. This is the same. This is the equivalent on this side. So we're going to wait and try to get shots, and wait. Let's see if we can see anything. We can't see anything. We do see a striv, but that's not what's on the cap. So, yeah. Carry high rolls for 533, which is, again, that 490 alpha really makes a big difference, because that means that you can two-shot, you know, an SDRV S1. Unfortunately, right now they know we're here. And Carrie, yeah, so Carrie just two-shot of the SDRV S1. He has time to reload one time, but but just barely, because, okay, here we go. There is the striv. It doesn't matter if you get shot. Okay. He didn't have time to get shot to get another reload in, and he has enough hit points to tank a shot from this Progetto. So it was more important that he gets the shot and pens the Progetto, thereby resetting the cap, than anything else. So now we just got shot from the Leopard, so we know the Leopard is in the middle. So Carrie's going to use this the dead tank, the dead, what is that? Is that is that a Leva, or is that the 60 TP? The dead tank. What doesn't matter what it is. Dead tank. To be hull down and try to, again, because this tank is pretty solid when it's hull down. So if we can put the shots into this Leopard, then this T-95 can push more effectively. And we've only got like 6 rounds left, but that's enough to do the job. And the Progetto has got to hide from us, but also hide from our friend, the T-95. And he can't really do both. So as long as we do this, we only have a minute left, and and the T-95 dies, unfortunately, because he's got friends on enemies on, or I'm sorry, the Leopard 1 must have flexed around and got side shots on the T-95. It's really unfortunate, but and the low roll. Oh my god. So it's 1 versus 2. We've got 35 seconds left. The Progetto is just in for blood because they don't want to I don't know what he's doing here. He's trying to throw. But at this point it's probably going to be a draw, right? Unless Carey, I mean, Carey's got this really good positioning here, but he's got to have 2 shots on this Leopard 1. Oh my god. So it's 15 seconds left. All this Leopard has to do is run away, and then it's a draw. Is that... Oh my god. Gonna chase it down. 3, 2, 1. What a letdown. What a letdown. Okay. Alright, so at the end of the game, Carey ended up taking home 8,476 damage, 1,300 assistance. Some of that was tracking, some of that was spotting. That's an ace tanker. He's got 9 kills. That's which is, I guess, a Radley Walters, a Top Gun, high caliber, the Defender medal, the whole 9 yards. And that ended up getting Carey at 1,000 base XP, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot of the things he was damaging were tier 8s, and so you get less XP for shooting tanks that are lower tier than you. But anyways, that's still a solid performance, and economically, I'm pretty sure we got battle payments, personal reserves, holiday ops, and so on and so forth. So he probably was going to lose money on this one, if not for, he had a bunch of stuff, a bunch of the consumables were already purchased, right? You can see the cost is 0 there, and he had all those different bonuses and stuff. So economically, I think he probably shot a lot of heat and didn't pen every one of those rounds, so he probably would normally have cost himself money, but holiday ops is great, so he didn't cost himself anything. Anyways, congratulations to Carey. What a fantastic game. Sorry it didn't end up with a win. The 10 kills would have been amazing, but thank you for sending in the replay, and sorry it took so long to finally get to this. So, and thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.